Other interesting business news, you have Elon Musk versus the Anti-Defamation League. Now, it's one of those fascinating things where, like many political organizations and many ideas, back in the day, that organization did some great good. They actually stood for things called morals and values, which again are kind of lost nuances in modern American society, but they actually had good intentions, which, although many would also argue, we all know what the road to hell is paved with. Now, since that time, the ADL has completely, again, the Anti-Defamation League, they're an extremely progressive, also known as left-wing, interest group, and they have a long-time track record of attacking platforms that do not bend the knee to their version of free speech. And they're very good and very effective at going after those companies and blackmailing them by scaring off advertisers, claiming, again, that it's anti-Semitic. Now, if you ever listen to Ben Shapiro, he actually has one of the most longest successful podcasts. He has a long track record of calling them out when, the ADL will actually not criticize people in the government, specifically Democrats, when they say anti-Semitic things, but they'll go after the competition for things that aren't even anti-Semitic. So, kind of shows where their political allegiance is. Now, Elon Musk tweeted that they are slurring Twitter by falsely claiming they are anti-Semitic and thereby driving advertisers away, which is true. That's what they've been doing lately more and more. Now, it looks like, to be clear, and this is again a tweet from Elon, he says, quote, "To be clear, our platform's name on the matter of anti-Semitism, it looks like we have no choice but to file a defamation lawsuit against the Anti-Defamation League. Oh, the irony." Now, that got 47.3 million views and 361,000 likes. So not the best ratio, 0.76%. And he also continued to say, quote, another tweet, or in this case a post, whatever you want to call it these days. He says, quote, "To be clear, I'm pro-free speech, but against anti-Semitism in any kind." That got 68.7 million views and 364.7 thousand likes. So even worse like ratio, 0.53. Now, that being said, I do believe he has a damn good point because, again, they're going after... It seems like the whole world is going against Elon. Every government entity is going after him. Ironically enough, kind of just shows where they are politically, where wind back the clock 4 or 5 years ago when he was only making EV cars, the government loved him. Every media outlet praised him. And then he decided to do something as audacious as standing up for free speech. The audacity, dear God. And of course, he has not conformed since. And can't help but notice they're all going after him pretty heavy. Now, in terms of will he win that lawsuit, that's going to be pretty difficult to prove, pretty damn near impossible to prove, many say, because in order to win a defamation suit against a public figure, you need to show malice, and that's, again, a very difficult standard to show. So unless, and again, this is all speculation, I'm not a legal scholar, just building upon analysis that I've read earlier, perhaps he'd have to actually have leaked documents from the ADL showing that they were intentionally and knowingly lying about Elon Musk and X, or formerly Twitter, in order to drive the advertisers away. But it is true. The advertisers are fleeing in part because of the ADL. The irony is unpalatable. It'll be interesting to see how Elon combats this, because again, their platform still isn't breaking even. It's still not making a profit. And since he took over, about 50% of the advertisers just left. And most social media are dependent on advertisers to actually make a profit. So it'll be interesting to see what is he going to do to make them break even and then make a profit. Apparently there's not enough people paying for Twitter Blue, and since they've done more censorship, I don't suspect anyone's going to sign up for Twitter Blue. I think a lot of people are going to choose not to renew their subscription because they're more courting and appealing to the advertisers, which inherently means more censorship and less free speech. So a lot of people who originally believed in Elon, including myself, paid for the Twitter Blue, and now we see them starting to censor things more. Well, that's not what we paid for. That's not what we were promised. So when the time comes to renew, I can't help but think more and more people are going to choose to not. And that'll make the situation worse for Elon, because now he's alienated the people who first believed in him and want free speech, and now the advertisers, because they're not going to be happy until everyone is censored. So it seems like Elon is stuck between a rock and a hard place. I don't know what side he's going to choose, or maybe he's just going to acquiesce and listen to Linda Macarena. I know her name is Yacarino, but Macarena sounds cooler, and I bet she does a good Macarena if I were to guess. Maybe he'll just acquiesce to the current CEO, which many people, her whole background is advertising. She's going to acquiesce to the advertisers because that's her job, is to make it profitable. Who will succeed? It'll be curious to see. but time shall tell. Thank you everyone again for taking the time to tune in. I know it's a high ambition. I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of September. So if you click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, really appreciate the comments and the likes. The comments really help build the channel, grow and develop, as well as if you have individual experiences with these topics. Love hearing more frontline experience, whether it's the ongoing UAW United Auto Workers strike, or maybe someone who has some firsthand experience working at an automotive company who can maybe tell us why they're killing all these beautiful stick shifts to go with automatics. So any insight is also greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.